There we go. See, I'm live.
And we are live.
Ooh! My Discord takes a couple minutes to notify people that I'm live, so we'll just have a chit chat, Mags.
Let's do it. Let's effing do it, Joshua.
So, first things first, I just want to say that this could be one of our last chat, Mags, because I'm best friends with Carmella now. So,
no.
I'm a little bit popular now, and it's like I don't even want to talk to these scum anymore. It's just I got Carmella.
I mean, the best part about it though was her revealing that Ross was her favorite from Friends.
That's the most comment I got about anything, Mags. Is
they're like, she deserves cancelling for that.
I was like, when she said, all right, between you and me, Mags, I don't know if you know this about me, but I don't really lack confidence. I wasn't nervous going into that conversation. I don't know if a lot of people would be nervous going into that.
You were giggling like a little schoolgirl.
I was excited.
It was, you could tell you. I don't think you were nervous. I think you were excited, and that really came through. It was so natural. I loved it. I love the.
I know it was only 2 minutes, and I know it's like anyone can really do that. I won that. I didn't pay for it, obviously. But like that was the first ever interaction I've had like that with someone you see on television. It was pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And the good thing about it is that like Carmella was genuinely quite nice, whether she was, on because she was, doing a meet and greet or not, but she come across as a very nice, genuine person. And it's like, that's cool to see because not that doesn't happen all the time. So it was like, cool. And I didn't want to talk about wrestling with her. Boring. Who wants to talk about wrestling? I was like, I'm going to ask her about Friends because I know she likes Friends. And I was like, hell yeah. And it was a great little conversation. I can't wait to do more. It was fun. Yeah. And of course I had to put Billy Kay over because, well, I have to because I can't help.
We may speak about Billy Kay later in the show.
I think we might be able to add something to her resume very soon. But after, I will allow to speak to you today. I'll get back to Carmella another day, I guess. But NXT TakeOver happened, Mags. That was pretty cool.
Yes, it did. I mean, just going back to that comment about you'll allow me to speak to you. Guys, if you've been here from the beginning of this series, we used to do this every month without fail. I've been bumped. I'm only allowed on the big shows now. He doesn't do the
I do them every month. Calm down now.
I know.
Calm down. I just don't.
This is what I'm saying. This monthly thing has been bumped because Josh is bigger than doing the B and C level pay-per-views. He only comes round for the big four. It's ridiculous.
It's honestly, from the bottom of my heart, it's exhausting being me, being this great. I just like constantly on.
I'm there agreeing.
Constantly going, constantly just on. Being me is very difficult. Okay, feel bad for me. But anyway, I don't do these anymore because listen, Mags, I love doing these to bits, but Tom, Dick, Harry, everybody fucking does them. So it's just like, it's no matter what you do with prediction shows, you can be as personality driven as you want. They're all pretty much the same. And that's not a knock on anybody. And that's not a knock on you. It's just, they're just the same. You know what it's like, Mags, if you do this every month. And I feel like it's special. We get to talk every few months. We'll probably do one for Money in the Bank though, because would you consider that a big pay-per-view? I would. Is that is it the unofficial 5 in the big 4?
for me, King of the Ring was like the unofficial 5th.
Well, yeah,
and I think that's been replaced by Money in the Bank. So yeah, I think Money, because it's one that it matters afterwards. With all the rest, you obviously get your title switches and stuff like that, but the event doesn't really matter afterwards. With Money in the Bank, that briefcase is carried on for potentially a full year. So I think, it's one of the big ones.
Yeah, wait, am I right in saying that that's next?
I believe so, yeah. You've got up to like WrestleMania to cash in.
No. You have till Money in the Bank to cash in, don't you?
Yeah,
Don't you have a year?
Mean.
Well, yeah. I don't, Mags. That's why I'm fucking asking you. I'm hostile. I'm hostile today.
You have woke up on the wrong side of the bed today, sir.
Well, I've been up for a long time. It's been a long day. Hey, Wrestling Plug Inc. He's here. Woohoo! Welcome in, John. It's fun to have you here. You're on YouTube. See, I'm still learning StreamYard, and I'm like, okay, so some people are on YouTube, and then other people are on Twitch. It's all happening for me. But anyway, original question again. Before you
before
rudely
we
went on.
tangented.
Yeah, before we we got a lot to get through today, Mags. All right, I can't be going on tangents because I will. I fucking will. It's hey, Queenie's here. Look how Queen.
Wow.
It's Queen.
We
Those
are
TikToks got you too hyped, Josh.
royalty.
Queen, what? Okay, before we talk about Takeover, let's put over Queen for a minute because she's a good egg.
She's the best of eggs. And she's having her own little Bubba Queen very, very, very soon. And I can't wait. I'm excited for her.
I'm so excited for Queen. Me and Queen, it seems to be pretty much every day that Queen and I chat when she first wakes up in the morning. She's always like, hello, how you going? And we just chat. And everyone knows I give Queenie my song every day because that's very important to me that Queen wakes up in a happy mood. Queenie's happy, I'm happy. That's how I kind of guide my life, you know? Everyone's here. Welcome in, everyone. From whether you're watching on YouTube or Twitch, whatever the hell you want to do, I'm just glad you're watching along. We're going to quickly talk about NXT TakeOver for the next 2 or 3 minutes, and then we're going to get on to WrestleMania predictions because we got 2 nights to get through. You know, we got to do this. But Mags, NXT TakeOver Night 1, Night 2. I'll quickly just say that I preferred Night 1 to Night 2 as a whole. I thought it was a better show, although the last 2 matches of Night 2 were phenomenal. Just great stuff. I still loved both nights, as NXT always is. It pretty much 9 out of 10 times does deliver, so that's pretty damn cool. But what did you think about Night 1 and Night 2?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Night 1 was absolutely outstanding. Night 2 was still absolutely amazing, but I just enjoyed Night 1 that little bit more. But TakeOver did exactly what TakeOver does every single year. It sets the bar for the rest of the wrestling week. And this WrestleMania, we have got a hell of a lot of wrestling to go on. So that's a long time for it to go and still be like that trendsetter. But yeah, it was amazing. The matchups, the storylines, it was just so good. That Volta and Tommy Ciampa match was absolutely everything. Just such a great story. I loved it. Yeah, it was a brilliant takeover.
Yeah, I like the energy of the takeovers. There was a certain WrestleMania week, whether you don't watch WWE, whether you love WWE, there is a certain energy to WrestleMania week that can't really be replicated in any other setting, quite like the takeover kind of into WrestleMania. I know it's a little different this year because of everything that's going on, and we got double nights of stuff. But we'll talk more about how we feel about 2 nights and everything in a minute. But if you had to pick a match out of the takeovers that was kind of your one favorite of the 2 nights, what would you be going with?
So my favorite to watch was definitely Volta versus Ciampa, just for the selling of the table getting chopped, the hand which a lot of wrestlers forget that they've got picked up an injury in a match when it comes to the finish. Volta didn't. The brutality of that match, but for me, it had to be Cole versus O'Reilly. That was arguably the best story in the whole WWE universe over the last few months. Really well built up. It made an absolute superstar out of Kyle O'Reilly. Cole just is so good. He's arguably one of the top 5 wrestlers in the world right now. And yeah, it was draining to watch because you were getting so into the story, and we get all the false finishes and the copying of each other's moves, and then the ending where Cole is getting took out on the stretcher, and we get the look over of Kyle looking down. We've got an instant top tier babyface after that match. It was brilliantly done.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Just to be different, I honestly do think this was my favorite match of the two nights. Like, I understand matches were better than this, but my favorite was the three-way tag. I loved that tag match. I really did, because it was just like controlled chaos from bell to bell. And I love that kind of stuff personally when it's done properly. So I was really into that, and I like MSK. I've come like right full circle to them. It's taken them a minute to get adjusted to NXT, but it's cool to see them. And it was just a really fun match. And I guess shout out to EO jumping off that skull, because that was pretty damn cool as well.
That's as another bar setter. That means Kevin Owens is going to have to top that.
What's he going to do?
Well, there is a massive pirate ship in the arena. I've seen the pictures.
We've seen that. It looks cool, by the way, that set. We'll talk about that in a minute.
It looks cool, yeah.
It does. I love a good set. Aesthetically pleasing stuff is like, you're already setting a bar nicely. You know what I mean? You've ticked that off the list. So it was cool. But yeah, I guess shout out to Raquel as well for becoming NXT Women's Champion. Good showing for her too. She's come a long way.
Yeah,
if you remember her in the original Mae Young Classic, she was a cowboy.
Yeah, but Reina Gonzalez, yes, we remember. We do remember. But yeah, and what a great follow-up storyline she's going to get with the turn of Dakota Kai. That's going to be a lot of fun. She's kind of took that Rhea Ripley role that NXT has lost. And for someone who's not been in the wrestling business that long, her improvement has been absolutely phenomenal.
She's only been on TV for 13 months since her debut, her official debut. So that's pretty cool. I'm just grabbing up because I didn't get it organized because I'm not professional. I better get the WrestleMania 37 card on my phone so I actually know what we're talking about. Otherwise, it's going to be just a mess. But we will be going in a order of night 1, night 2, obviously, and we know what the main event is now. We know what's opening the show, so we can bookend this nicely in night 1. But let's say we get into some WrestleMania predictions. That is why we're here. Me and Mads, we don't really argue. We don't argue.
We agree to disagree. We agree to disagree a lot.
Yes, but I'm genuinely more right.
Always right.
But, and it is at the end of the day, we are streaming live on Josh Robinson at 00. I don't believe that's Mag's 00. So I think I'm in charge. So I'll just settle your tea kettle there. But anyway, let's talk about WrestleMania. You know what? Fuck you, iCarly, if you're watching this.
I bet you're still watching new TV show.
Absolutely, can't wait. So it's Bobby Lashley defending the WWE Championship against Drew McIntyre in what is now, WWE has confirmed, the official opener to WrestleMania. I am so damn glad that this is going on first because Drew McIntyre deserves and has earned that first entrance, that first pop from the crowd. Deserves to go to Mr. McIntyre. I'm glad he's getting that. Now, we have seen, let's rewind back here to the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view where we had the Miz cash in his money in the bank and become WWE champion for a mere 8 days. And then, of course, lost it to Bobby Lashley. We know the story. Drew's come into this. We're getting Drew and Lashley in this kind of like Clash of the Titans kind of deal, isn't it? It's just two heavy hitters just kind of going at it, and it's weird, the contrast in their careers, and I have a lot of expectation for this match. I don't think it's going to be like the match of the weekend, but I do genuinely think it's going to be a very different match than what everything else can bring to the table, which is what WrestleMania is built on. In my opinion, you have WrestleMania matches, there's attraction, there's money matches, there's great wrestling matches that are designed to steal the show, and there's kind of everything in between. You have to have it's many flavors of ice cream at WrestleMania. So Drew and Bobby going on first, it does kind of change my outlook on the winner. Because I feel like you want your first match, you want the crowd to be very, very happy. So to me, that just screams that Drew McIntyre is going to regain the WWE Championship and to kind of get that moment for Drew as well. To get him that kind of moment that he didn't get last year, if that makes I think that makes sense. So I would go with Drew McIntyre. Before we get to you, Mags, we will have a little comment from one Queen. She said, hope it's a good match. Go Drew, former Hurt Business, going to screw bobbers. Hurt Business, I think, will have something to do with this in the sense of MVP. But, you know, it is what it is. What do you think, Mags? What's going on here? And I get welcome in Reese on Wrestling. He wants to know which one of those belts you're going to be defending back there, Mags.
All of the belts, sir. All of the belts.
Winner take all. It's WrestleMania.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Reese. Thank you very much. But yeah, going to this match, I agree with you. I think the fact that this is going on first kind of telegraphs the result for me. But I don't think I don't agree with the way that you're looking at it. You're looking at it from a very positive kind of fan-friendly look. I think this starts the pay-per-view because we get a result that maybe we don't want at the beginning, and then they've got a full night's worth of action to kind of like bring us back in. I think going on first means that we get a Bobby win.
We're literally on the flip side. We're like literally thinking in two very different.
Yeah.
Which I mean, money's probably more being right there because it's WWE, and they know one thing. They know how to gather a reaction out of an audience. So,
absolutely.
For better or for worse, I wouldn't be mad. I personally, as a personal thing, would prefer Bobby Lashley to retain because I just think that he needs more room to kind of grow as WWE champion, and I want to see more from that reign.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just the flip side of it is that Drew did have that moment last year in front of nobody, and it's like, when are we going to have fans again? We don't really know when this is going to happen on a more consistent basis again. We really don't. So it's going to be interesting. We'll talk about everything with that in a minute, but fans in general, it's just going to be nice to have not a full stadium. Obviously, we're not getting that. And whether you think it's time or not, that's not for us to decide. But we're getting 25,000, I believe, fans in the arena for WrestleMania. So that just makes it just elevate even more. It's like we're going to get reactions from crowds, and we're going to get. It just feels bigger. It feels bigger.
For me, the fans is kind of, it's going to be like a double-edged sword because I've missed the fans. I think WWE missed the fans. I think I've been when you watch older pay-per-views, the fans are a big part of what's going on. They're kind of almost like the third person in the ring almost. But I have also really liked the innovation of the Thunderdome. I think that's been a really cool way of keeping fans invested and being able to be involved in the show without actually putting them at risk of any kind of catching any viruses. So I think I'm going to miss that, but I also do want fans back. I personally wouldn't go to a show right now. I still would be concerned about that. But if you're allowed to go and you're willing to go, absolutely go and enjoy yourself. Have a great time. And how can you not have a great time at WrestleMania?
I know it's WrestleMania. There is nothing like WrestleMania. There really isn't anything like it. It is a one of its own kind of show. Speaking of one of its own, we don't get this every year at WrestleMania, but we're getting it this year. We are getting a tag team attraction match between one Damian Priest and Bad Bunny taking on the former WWE champion, The Miz, and John Morrison. Okay, let's talk about celebrities in wrestling. They're always going to be a thing. It's always going to be a thing because everyone knows the reasoning. Get more people to watch wrestling. That is it's a very our own world kind of thing, and nobody peeks out, nobody peeks in. That's how wrestling is, and it doesn't allow it to grow. So I am one that's definitely for celebrities in wrestling. However, ... what I really like is when celebrities actually give a shit. And Bad Bunny seems to give a shit. He seems to genuinely love wrestling. You can tell he's a fan of wrestling. And he's there pretty much every week, which is not something celebrities do ever. There's not really many that I can think of that have been there for this period of time, for this long. I really can't remember that. So it's nice to see Bad Bunny giving a shit, and apparently he's been down at the PC. I don't know. We'll find out, I guess, tomorrow when Bad Bunny wrestles. But I'm not expecting this to be a 5-star classic. Now, calm down. I'm not about to say that. But what I am expecting is that this match is going to get the crowd pretty much here and be like, here, I think Bad Bunny is going to impress people. I genuinely do.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I agree. And to go back to your point about celebrities in wrestling, I'm from an era back when TV only had one channel.
In the 1940s when you were 15? Nice. Did you have colored TV? How long was it before you had color in your TV? When did you get just, I wasn't alive then, so it's nice to talk to you're like a museum. You're like a walking museum.
I'm not going to give you a response to that. But no, I'm back from the early WrestleManias. One of my earliest memories is like WrestleMania 3 with Steamboat and Savage. So I know that wrestling, and especially WWF, was built on the back of having celebrities involved. People like Cyndi Lauper at the real beginning of the rock and wrestling era. We wouldn't have wrestling today in the way that we have it now if it wasn't for celebrities. Even going through the Attitude Era, people like Mark Tyson, all the mainstream popularity that WCW got with Dennis Rodman and Karl Malone and being on Saturday night talk shows in America. We would not be at this point if it wasn't for celebrity involvement. It's as simple and clear as that. And I am fully on board with your view. If the celebrity is a fan of wrestling and enjoys the wrestling, it's not just a paycheck, it works for me. I am absolutely happy. The more it kind of appeals to other people, the more fans it brings in, the better for everyone. Bad Bunny is clearly a massive, massive wrestling fan. I don't know him. I've never heard his music, but people know him. The guy was the top 5 selling merchandise in the first week of him being involved. He had all top 5 positions. That shows that this guy is a big deal. And the fact he's been at the PC training, the fact he's in this match and he's been there every week, I have absolutely no problem with him being involved. I can't wait to see what he's able to pull off.
Yeah, I'm at least with celebrities, I can say this. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued to see what they can bring. Queenie even says this. I had that other comment on the screen, but Bad Bunny does have a lot of wrestling references in his music. I know who Bad Bunny is. I guess you're not with the hip and young like I am, I'm just saying. But it's, I'm actually a little bit out of the loop because I learnt about him late because I'm not 18, so I don't know who he is. But he was in that one song with Cardi B, and I was like, I know who that fella is. I know who he is. So, but put it this way. This is how I judge him bringing in eyes to wrestling. I know this isn't like the greatest thing to base it on. Let me put Giddy down. Sorry, get down. It's not the greatest thing to judge it on, but I guess it says something. I'm just saying. There's a thing on TikTok at the moment with WWE things, and you can make your own matchup screen with WWE superstars. The most viewed one out of it all, crazily. There's a Sasha one, there's a Randy one, there's a Bobby one, there's a Bad Bunny one. The Bad Bunny one has millions more views than any of the wrestlers. And I'm not knocking wrestling, but Bad Bunny obviously brings in an audience that WWE is just not producing. No wrestling is producing. You cannot produce that audience with wrestling. So it's more eyes at the end of the day. And we'll talk about Logan Paul after, but at least Mr. Bad Bunny is not problematic. And if he is going to wrestle, then let's be honest. I don't think there's a better opponent to have than Miz and Morrison, who are a very celebrity kind of gimmick, I guess you would, in wrestling. This match is Bad Bunny and Damian Priest is to win, is it not? It's there's no way Miz and Morrison are winning here, right?
No, I mean you have a celebrity. You have a celebrity at the kind of the stature of Bad Bunny. The guy wins. It's as simple as that. And this, for me, is going to kind of attempt to propel Damian Priest into that upper echelon of wrestling. And like I said, Miz and Morrison are two perfect people to have this kind of match. Both extremely safe wrestlers. Both can really kind of be a good ring general and carry a less experienced wrestler to a really good match. They're the perfect pairing for this. And Miz, and the fact that he thinks he's this A-list celebrity and he acts like he's A-list celebrity, and the storyline that they've had with Bad Bunny, I mean, drawing on his Bugatti in clearly paint that will wash off with a little bit of water was brilliant. I love it. It's silly, it's daft, but it's what you need at WrestleMania. It's kind of a palate cleanser, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And it will be that kind of like, just that kind of like, okay, it's something to definitely pay attention to. It's not like a bathroom break kind of match, but it's definitely like, it's not going to be like, I'm jumping out of my seat like, holy shit, all these false finishes and all of this. It's just going to be like, okay, I want to see you do something and we can go on with our day. But Queen makes a great point. It raises Damian Priest's stock to have someone next to you that is that big, someone who's on SNL, who's someone who is, doing all these things in the music world. It doesn't hurt. It certainly can't hurt you having that next to you and having more eyes, because they're going to be like, well, who's that dude standing next to him? So it's a pretty cool deal, I think. It's an attraction match at WrestleMania. You're going to get them every year, whether you love them, whether you hate them. They're a part of WrestleMania. They're kind of like they're set in stone with these things. But so we're both in agreement here that it's definitely going to be Mr. Bad Bunny, especially getting the win for his team. But Bad Bunny and Damian Priest if I was a betting man, I'm pretty sure I'd put some money on this one.
Oh yeah, if there's a banker, in this whole WrestleMania weekend, it's this match. It's Bad Bunny does something half-line, gets a WrestleMania moment, and picks up a WrestleMania win.
Yeah, be good. It would be a fun little WrestleMania match. Braun Strowman and Shane McMahon. They're going to be wrestling in
the punch ball.
I put this in the middle, threw it in the middle because I don't want to, bring us down too much. I'm a positive guy. I'm a very optimistic WWE fan. If I can proudly say anything, it's that. I can pretty much look at anything and extract what is good about it and go, yeah, all right, this is why we're getting this. I'm enjoying it. It's very hard for me to do this here because, okay, first and foremost, I'm not a fan of Braun Strowman. I never really have been a fan of Braun Strowman. Now, I don't love Shane McMahon. I don't think he's the greatest thing in the world, but I don't hate Shane McMahon. I'm a McMahon fan. I like Shane McMahon. Here's my problems with this. Braun Strowman is someone that, even if I wasn't a fan, is not someone I can care about after the way he's been portrayed on screen the last 4, 5, 6, however many fucking years he's been there. Shane McMahon probably doesn't have that many more WrestleMania matches left in him. And if we're going to have Shane McMahon in here, because I do believe, again, he is an attraction of WrestleMania. He's special at WrestleMania. If you really want to like debate it with me, go ahead. But I believe he is someone that it's WrestleMania season. You get Shane McMahon and against someone. We've had him against AJ and The Undertaker and all these people. Braun and him, for some reason, just doesn't mesh with me. Not only that, I don't understand why all of a sudden Braun Strowman is dumb and why Shane McMahon cares. There's been no explanation about why Shane McMahon is even back on our screens after Raw Underground. There's been no explanation since that. Also, the biggest thing I have a problem with is that Braun Strowman is literally a train. Why is he a train? I don't understand why his gimmick has been he is a train. Why is he a train? Why does he have cuckoo fucking noises? I don't understand why this man's gimmick is literal train. I don't get it. I don't get any of this. It's a steel cage. Like, whatever. Shane will get thrown over the fucking top of it or some bullshit like that. I said on my Twitch stream last week that I think Shane McMahon should somehow, before the match, get on top of the pirate ship. Braun Strowman gets on top of the pirate ship, throws Shane into the ring from somehow, and the ring falls into the ground, and then Braun Strowman picks up the cage, and then Shane rolls off and he wins. That's how I said I'd fucking book that shit, because I can't be bothered with this bullshit. I don't care about this. I don't even like trains. I don't like trains. I dislocated my shoulder on a train one day. And ever since that day, I've hated trains. So, like, get fucked. On to you.
I would happily not have this match on the card. This should have happened at Fastlane. This is literally...
No. Backtrack. This should not be fucking happening.
No, if it's going to happen. if it's going to happen, if we have to have this match, it should have happened at Fastlane. My issue is, how many more times are we going to have Shane jump off stuff just to try and get Daddy to love him? Look, Shane, you're 50 years old. Vince does not love you. You've been replaced with Triple H. Let it go. We don't need your sweaty, cocaine-addled body getting tired, walking to the ring, and then ruining WrestleManias for us. You used Nickelodeon-style gimmicks to promote this match, gunging someone. Are you a child? Are you a literal child? It's pathetic. Shane, just stop. The best thing is, though, he had a good thing going with Raw Underground. I was actually the most invested in Shane that I've been in for a long, long time. Braun Strowman, I couldn't give two tosses about because he has been wrecked. But Shane, I thought, oh, this is interesting. Then he comes back, does a promo where he stands there sweating, forgets his lines, walks off, calls Braun dumb, sweats a lot, goes to sleep, sweats some more, takes a line of cocaine, comes to a match, and yeah, I can't care less about this. You know who wins in this? Nobody. Nobody wins because we have to sit there and watch it.
You know what will win? My bladder when I take a fucking piss while this match is fucking on.
I mean,
okay, so before we go on, Imp wants to know, not to sidetrack, but that train story needs elaboration. Want to know what the true story is here? I was playing Uno with my dad on the train because that's what you do on a long train ride, and I needed to go to the bathroom, and I started walking, and the train hit a little bit of a Josh fell over, he hit his arm went down on the seat and went. And I was on the train for another 2.5 hours with a dislocated shoulder.
And that had more intrigue and suspense than this match.
Yeah. This is literally, I don't mean to get disgusting, but this is literally my shit break for WrestleMania tomorrow. Well, tomorrow for me, everyone, because I'm in the future. WrestleMania's on in the morning. It's literally going to be, want a snack? I'll fucking make it for everybody. I'll go and make you a fucking 3-course meal in this match because I don't care. What I'm very scared about with this match, Mags, is that it's going to get a fair chunk of time. I don't think it's going to be quick. I don't think it's going to be quick. That's what I don't.
Shane needs 15 minutes to do all this stupid stuff to make Daddy love him. Vince won't even be watching. Vince won't be at Gorilla. He'll be talking this match.
He'll be talking to Triple H.
He'll be going for a piss himself. I still pop for the Vince McMahon tweets when it's Shane's birthday and all he says is "Happy Birthday" at Shane McMahon. And then when it comes to Cena and The Rock and Triple H, he puts "To the son I always wanted, I love you so much" at Triple H. And you're like, Shane, he doesn't love you. He doesn't love you.
It's just very apparent that Shane is not Stephanie, and
or Trips.
It's not you, Shane. It's not you, bud. You're just not your sister. So it's not our fault. But other than that, it's going to be a great match. Can't wait. Can't fucking wait. If you had to take a guess, I actually do genuinely think Shane McMahon will win.
I mean, he could. I think Braun will win. But I think it'll be terrible either way.
You know what? Let's move on. We don't need to talk about that anymore. Something that has potential to be a lot of fun, and I genuinely mean this, is the Raw Tag Team Championships. We have the New Days, Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, defending their Raw Tag Team Championships against the team of AJ Styles and Omos. Now, Omos is going to be joining a very elite club, if you will, of people who make their wrestling debuts at WrestleMania. Only so many people have done that. Big E is one of them, I believe.
Fandango
beat Chris Jericho at WrestleMania. Former world champion Chris Jericho did go down to the dancing superstar. So is this going to be a big night for the big man in Omos and AJ Styles? I have a feeling that, I understand. I'm not going to say I don't understand, get this. AJ probably should be doing something maybe a little bit more than the Raw Tag Team Championships. We don't know how many WrestleManias AJ's got left. He's been very clear that he's not going to be wrestling for 10, 15 more years. He might only have 3-4 years left in him. So I understand it. However, it does elevate the Raw Tag Team Championships, and I do think it's generally going to be a very fun tag team match. Well, it's AJ Styles, it's Kofi Kingston, it's Xavier Woods, and it's the unknown with Omos. We don't know exactly what we're going to get with him, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'll say my prediction now so you can say your part, but I do think AJ and Omos are probably going to win this. I think it's pretty, it's kind of set up that way. And I'm not opposed to it. I think it could be a lot of fun. Reese in the comments says an even more elite club of winning tag titles on debut at Mania with Nicholas. Yes. That's right. Omos could join the Nicholas club.
When we cared about Braun.
When we cared about... I'm not going to finish that sentence. Go on.
I think this is one that we are going to agree on. If I remember rightly, if AJ wins these titles, he's now then a Grand Slam champion for WWE. So it's going to certainly be historic if they do win. I think that there's always a story there as well about almost splitting, getting that kind of like Shawn Michaels and Diesel vibe out of it. But yeah, the fact that it's his debut, the fact that the New Day are multi-time champions and a loss for them doesn't hurt them in the slightest. The only upside is for Omos, for him to win and look like a huge deal, especially in his debut. It's a lot of pressure on the guy's shoulders to perform, but I think that we're going to have new Raw Tag Team champions.
Yeah, and it'll be a fun match. It certainly will be a match that I will be paying attention to. I think it'll be fun. It'll be like in the middle. That's how I just see this match being fitted into this. Just be somewhere in the middle of the 7 matches we have at WrestleMania. Now, WrestleMania Night 1 also has tag team turmoil. We have the women's tag team. First and foremost, I love how if you're going to have 2 nights of WrestleMania, I love how you actually have stakes. Like night 1 matters to night 2, and this is the kind of match that does so. So anyway, we have tag team turmoil. We have Lana and Naomi, Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose, the Riot Squad, Liv Morgan, Ruby Riott, Natalya and Tamina, and Billie Kay and Carmella, who were added on SmackDown. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams in this tag team turmoil. The winners go on to fight Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler for the women's tag team championships on night 2. So, let's talk about these teams in this match. Probably the most earned and deserved winners would be the Riot Squad. Therefore, they're probably not going to win.
and they're the only genuine tag team.
I would. Hey, hold up. Okay, people have this fucking fascination with talking about this, and this isn't an attack on you, Mags, even if it's going to come across as that. You know how I am. No. I love you to bits, but okay. Tag teams have to start somewhere. Okay, they have to start somewhere, especially for a division as young as the women's tag team titles. People give these titles shit, and I just don't see it in that way. Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose, they've been teaming now since last September. Okay, that's a solid 6-7 months that they've been a team, and you have to start somewhere. That's still a fair chunk of time that they're a team. So to me, they're an established team. Lana and Naomi, okay, they've only been teaming for a couple of months, but let's point out some stuff about Lana and Naomi that makes them, in my opinion, a team. They do double team moves. They have matching gear. They're clearly committed to the cause of being a tag team. Natty and Tamina, okay, their legacies kind of at least make sense. And then Billie and Carmella is literally in their first match. I understand that. But this division is young, and people are complaining about Nia and Shayna being a thing. It's like, well, you have to give something to this division. If you're going to have women's tag team championships, you have to build it from somewhere. So I will defend the women's tag team division all the time with like people saying like, oh my God, they're just throwing together tag teams. Okay, a lot of teams were thrown together at some stage. You know what? It just happens. That's how tag teams become tag teams. Sure, tag teams come in together and it's great. Okay, one of my favorite tag teams of the last however many years, I've been watching wrestling is Jericho. Were they a tag team when they came in? No, they were 2 former world champions when they became a tag team. And they were a great tag team. Everyone looks back on them very fondly. I just don't see how that's different from Lana and Naomi being a team. Sorry to get Sorry to
I
get
know.
angry. I didn't mean it at you.
Calm down.
I didn't mean-
Calm down. No, I totally take your points on board. Some of the best tag teams in recent memory have come from being thrown together. The Bar, one of the most successful tag teams in the modern era, was thrown together. My issue with this is that we had some established women's tag teams that got split up. We had Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, the Iconics. We had Fire and Desire, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. If you were going to build towards a tag team division, if that was kind of like the long-term philosophy, why split those established teams up to have to rebuild other tag teams? That was the issue. These ladies will absolutely set this match on fire. This is going to be a low-key banger of a match. It really, really is. And the fact that you personally influenced this match and probably the winners of the match, they've got to win. They've got to win. Now that Vince has seen your conversations with Carmella and thought, that is some good shit. I don't
even want to be paid. I'm not even asking to be paid. Just literally put me on TV so I can have some clout. Just some clout. Maybe Vince could have the power to get my old Twitter account back. I mean, Vince is a pretty rich person. He could probably pay Twitter some money to
Josh Robinson 00 WWE. I can see it coming.
But I don't want to say that. I don't want to. Go around here making these bold statements that I got Carmella to choose. Billie Kay, I'll let other people decide whether they think that I did it or not. But in that point, I will go to I will just go to this comment of people just saying that I did do that. Queen saying I manifested that tag team. I mean, as me and Carmella.
She wasn't even going to look at Billy's resume until you mentioned it.
I know. And listen, I'm pretty tight with Carmella. So, I was, we're texting, we like this. No. I am very glad that I could advocate for my wonderful, wonderful Australian icon, if you will. She's quite iconic. She has something to know about being iconic, is one Billie Kay. All jokes aside, Billie Kay has done some fantastic work in the last couple of months, being just a great comedy act. Wrestling needs comedy. She has great comedic timing. And I am on agreement with you that I think that this match, I think has an opportunity to be a lot of fun. It's tag team term. I can keep the pace kind of at a nice, it can not, I don't mean like quick like this. I just mean like it's, it has a nice pace to it where you can't get bored because you've always got something going on. I like a gauntlet style match like this. So I am in agreement though that Billie Kay and Carmella, I think this is their match to win because they haven't teamed before. And it's kind of like odd, like something will happen where Billie just falls on top of someone and she'll get the win and then they'll go into night two. I think that could be a fun, to me, not being biased, but I am. But I think it's the most fun story you could tell going into night two. Very underdog-like, and it's very like, Nia and Shayna are not going to take Billie Kay seriously. They're not going to take Billie Kay and Carmella seriously. Here's a question from one Mr. JPJ. I love Joe. He's a member of Love Wrestling. Everyone go and check out Love Wrestling. We all do a lot of fun. Our team is growing. And
so good being a part of that team. So good.
Mags knows all about it. And I just want to say Spencer will see this, and I'm not going to get too sappy, but that man does a lot of work, and I have never been a part of something where he is so humble and so gracious to be like, it's a team effort. And yes, we all do contribute and we all put a lot of time into Love Wrestling, but Spencer works really hard. That man is up at 5 o'clock in the morning, most mornings, and he's going to bed at midnight and doing that every day on top of his normal job. So I'll probably clip this little bit so Spencer can see this. So in the interest that it gets to his ears, but Spencer is a very hardworking person. So if everyone watching today, if you're on Twitch, if you type !Love Wrestling, all is one word. You can go to Love Wrestling. It will take you to a link to my work on Love Wrestling, and you can subscribe to Love Wrestling through that, because very hardworking individual, and a very good person. It's not like he's out here bossing us around. Great team, and just a lot of great people that have been introduced to with Love Wrestling. I feel very, very lucky to be a part of that. But Joe does put an interesting question. Do we see the Bellas getting involved here? They have that big return of the evening. WrestleMania is kind of built on moments more so than matches, I would say. I don't think the Bellas come back yet. I do know that they have an interesting coming back, but I don't even think Nikki's actually been cleared to wrestle yet. She's still got issues with her neck. I don't think it's even a thing. I think she's even stated that. I mean, it's wrestling, so Nikki could be just saying that because, you don't want to spoil the surprise.
Well, they were recently on, I think it was the Ellen show, and they spoke about coming back. Wow. They spoke about coming back. And
problematic. Is that not friggin'
no, it's absolutely a thing. But anyway, they spoke on the Ellen show, and they said that with WrestleMania soon going to Hollywood, that may be the time that they'll be coming back. But they are. It seems to be planning a comeback. Yeah.
Yeah. It is. I don't think it's tomorrow. Well, I don't think it's Mania, but I do think it's going to be soon. It's going to be soon. Yeah. Whatever. So we're both in agreement, so that Billie Kay and Carmella are going in tonight too as the challengers. It
makes sense. The whole storyline has been about them two forming a team. They've had the most kind of press out of it, I suppose. And if Josh has said it, it happens. So yeah.
I mean, Carmella's going to have to. She liked the tweet today. So. And it's giving me a lot of views on YouTube. I love the clout. Everyone knows me. I love a little bit of attention. So wait, who said that? Not me. No, I'm being a shit right now. It was a very fun conversation though. I like talking to her. She was a nice person. Anyway, something that I'm not very happy about before we talk about the last couple of matches on night one. Out of everybody on this, on these booked for this show, booked for both nights, I don't see Miss Bayley, and that really irritates me because she has done, probably outside of maybe Drew, she was one of the biggest appeals of the pandemic era, and I don't think she deserves a spot in the card. I think she's earned a spot on the WrestleMania card. Yeah. I truly believe that, and I don't know if everyone's seen the clip that circulated on Twitter from, I believe, maybe Inside the Ropes did a video interview with her, and they asked her, what's going on? Where's Bayley? And the look on her face looked like pure just devastation that she's not a part of this card. And I can't think of anyone off the top of my brain that I'm like, okay, they've earned the spot as much as Bayley in the terms of like if they're not booked. I can't really think of anybody else. I'm sure there's people, and I'm sure someone will correct me, but Bayley is to me the biggest one that isn't booked on the card, and that makes me now. Again, there could be something you don't know. It's WWE, and things always happen. But like to me, it's like you have Hulk Hogan and Titus O'Neil hosting this show, which could have been a perfect fit for Bayley. But she has Ding Dong Hello, the talk show. You couldn't give her 5 minutes to have like a legend come out. It's WrestleMania. You have someone come out and they have a 5-minute little segment just to get her on the show. I mean. The only reason I get so angry about it is because it's the first show back with fans. And if it was, any other circumstances, I could at least see past it. But I just think it's a bit of a bummer. So I could imagine how she feels.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think her rivalry with Sasha has been one of the brightest things of the year. She's character change has been absolutely phenomenal. She's carried a lot of the women's division. Between her and Asuka, they've made the WWE women's division so entertaining in this terrible year we've had, and it's a shame if she's not going to be on the card. I hope, like you said, that there's something already planned and that we are going to see her, because it'd be a damn shame if someone who's carried the company for a year is not on the biggest show.
It's not, to me, it's just, I know life is unfair. And she goes, hey, I'm going to be here for many, many, many more WrestleManias, but you don't know what tomorrow brings. You don't know when something could happen, or when you don't know what life brings you. So it's just like, it just sucks. It just really sucks. I really am a big fan I know I'm a big fan of Bayley, but I think everyone's in agreement, at least even if you're not the biggest fan of her, that she's contributed to that show over a time when wrestling really wasn't that fun in terms of not having an audience. And Bayley, Sasha, Drew, Asuka, they really did kind of carry that company. and wrestling as a whole. It's not like wrestling was, moving the wheel with anything during these times. So it's just nothing more than a big disappointment. Just anything. I just wanted us to appear and just be like, hello. And then I'm like, okay, at least she's been on the show. But it is what it is. But moving along, we are going to have a match that could steal the entire WrestleMania week in one Cesaro and Seth Rollins. Cesaro is getting a one-on-one match with, whether people want to admit it or not, one of the best in the world, Seth Rollins, and a man that's main evented WrestleMania. A man that's won a WWE championship at WrestleMania. It is no small task going against Seth Rollins. I mean, there's no way this match will be bad. Let's just put that out there because it's Cesaro and it's Seth. They're two of the best in the world. It's exciting to see Cesaro in this role. It's also exciting to see Seth do something a little different because the Messiah gimmick I liked at the beginning, and then it just kind of got a little bit convoluted for me, and I was like, I didn't hate it, but it just wasn't really doing anything for me. But he's tweaked it so much. And this incarnation of whatever this is, Embrace the Vision Seth, has been fun since he's been back since the Rumble he come back. And that drip. I mean, his fit is it's a fashion choice. I respect the man for being very unique with his outfit choices. I do respect that. But as a stereotypical here, but as a gay man, that's a bold fashion choice. Holy shit. That's a bold fashion choice. But do you, Seth? I mean, we've seen Seth in, that was about to go way, way weird then, so I won't even finish that sentence. But we'll just, Seth better get swung 37 times. Listen, I know this match is going to be good. The result, I'm leaning more towards Cesaro. But I mean, even in a loss here, I don't think it hurts Cesaro, but I think he needs the win more so than Seth Rollins needs the win. But it doesn't necessarily, I'm not sold on Seth Rollins losing. My pick is Cesaro. I think the match is going to be phenomenal.
Going back to Seth for a minute, I think he's approaching Chris Jericho territory where he's able to reinvent little pieces of himself and keep himself relevant so much. He's becoming the full package for me. I mean, obviously he's always had the in-ring ability, and the breakaway from the Shield, he kind of was a big star, but he took his time to really ingratiate himself with the fans. I think now he's one of the best character wrestlers in the WWE. Whether you enjoy the character or not, he gives it his all, and I really think he's approaching that kind of a GOAT status for me. I think when he retires, we're going to look upon him as one of the very best to ever do it.
Yeah, I really do think that. Thank you for the follow, IJ. It's much appreciated. Or LJ, I don't know. I can't see from here. But thank you for the follow. Nonetheless, sorry for butchering your name if I did. But yeah, Seth is doing really good stuff. Yeah, I don't know. There's no way this match is going to be bad, right?
No, this has got the potential to be Cesaro's breakout. I mean, it's weird to say that with a guy who's had the career of Cesaro and the longevity in the WWE of Cesaro, but Seth has the opportunity here to bring Cesaro into the main event, and I think we'll see Seth take 100 spins because it's got to be huge. There's just got to be so many of them, and I think this could be the push for him being a huge star. Seth doesn't need the win, so I'm definitely going to give it to Cesaro for me.
Yeah, I'm very much hoping that it's going to be Cesaro, and I'd put my prediction down as Mr. Cesaro going over here, but nonetheless, has an opportunity to really, really steal the show. And as my good friend Steph says, Cesaro's going to be dizzy because by the end of the night, he's just going to be like, he'll be like, where am I? Because he's just going to keep spinning Seth. And Seth sells that swing so great. He usually puts his arms out and it's just like, woo, and all his hair's just fucking flying everywhere. It looks real good. It's a good time. Yeah, but that's all we'll say about that one. Before we get into talking about the main event of night one, I want to talk to you about something else that came out the other day. I woke up to the news. It would have been during the day for you. The next guest on the Broken Skull Sessions. Not someone I was expecting. One Mr. Chris Jericho, AEW superstar Chris Jericho. I should put that out there. A contracted current AEW superstar, of course. Now, I know everyone, it's not about WWE versus AEW or anything like that, but there's no way that I'll talk to you here, Mags, and to the chat. There's no way that you looked at that and went, oh, yeah, cool. There's got to be a bit of you that goes, wait, what the fuck?
Yep.
I woke up and I was like sat up in my bed. I was literally like, you know, when something like comes over you, you're just like, wait, what the? And I like rub my eyes, like all the, you know, sleep and shit out of your eyes. And you're just like, what the fuck? And I was like, I'm like, is it April Fool's? I'm like, what is going on? Chris Jericho is on Broken Skull Sessions.
And Austin gave a little bit of context to it as well. He said that he texted Vince McMahon and said,
yeah,
can we have Jericho on the show? And Vince is like, yeah, go for it. And he had to text him again to get confirmation. He's like, no, we're talking about Chris Jericho on the Broken Skull Sessions. And he's like, yeah, go for it. It sounds like a great idea. It was mind-blowing. It was literally like, boof. People have been talking about this mysterious forbidden door and that Jericho and Tony Khan broke it down. Well, Vince just blew the house up that is attached to the forbidden door. It is now a forbidden hole in the ground because that's phenomenal. We have never had a period in wrestling where WWE would highlight their biggest competition in such a way. And I mean, even the clips that are coming out, we're talking, there's bits where Jericho's talking about Sammy Guevara and how he moved to AEW and stuff like that. So it seems like there's no subject kind of out of bounds.
Well, it's the elephant in the room anyway. There's no way that Stone Cold couldn't ask about it. Also, shout out to Mr. Project Ditz. Ditz is a wonderful, wonderful friend. Great Twitch streamer. Everybody go and check out Ditz on Twitch. He is so good.
Yeah. I'm so proud of where Ditz has come from to where he is now. The guy is absolutely killing it. And the team he's got there as well. So it's just outstanding.
Yeah, talk about a committed person. I used to do a podcast with Mr. Ditz, and I loved our chats. I loved
Shits versus Tosh. I remember that.
Oh yeah. Mags loved us. Ditz is a great person, though, but it's just a great Twitch streamer. So everyone, go and give Ditz a follow here on Twitch. Consider what you need to do to watch his streams. He's a lot of fun. Now, speaking of a lot of fun. We do have a main event to talk about of night one. Sasha Banks. I said Sasha. I say Sasha. I still say Sasha. It's just I don't know. I've always said Sasha, but Sasha. It's not. Americans say Sasha, and I guess technically her name is Sasha. That's what I think. That's what I think too. But I guess technically it is Sasha because that's how they say it, and that's how she says it. And I guess she has final say at least. But at least the rest of the world says Sasha. But Sasha Banks will be defending her SmackDown Women's Championship against 2021 Women's Royal Rumble winner, Miss, I say Bianca, they say Bianca, but Bianca Belair. Main event, it's being confirmed it will headline night one, as it should, because I'm a believer that the Royal Rumble winner should main event. You have two Royal Rumbles, you have two nights, therefore you automatically get the main event, no matter the build, no matter nothing. That's how I justify it. But they are making history. It would be a disservice to not at least mention the fact that it is the first time the two African-American women will be in the same ring wrestling for a championship at WrestleMania. Pretty cool, whether you want to, look into it in that way or just from a wrestling standpoint. Two next level talents, someone that is earned her spot in the main event of WrestleMania in one Miss Banks and one that in 4 or 5 years' time is going to be where Miss Sasha Banks is right now, because I do believe that Bianca Belair is the future of wrestling in general, not women's wrestling. I just think she is a bona fide superstar. If you've seen the way that woman carries herself in interviews and media and talk shows, everything like that, she's got it. She's got it. And she's got an appeal. She's got a look. She's connecting all the dots right now. She's crossing her T's, if you will. It's the main event. Ditz is saying it best. Main event, baby. Queen, main event. It's just, I think it's it should have been a foregone conclusion from the start that they were main eventing. And I knew deep down, I thought they were always going to main event. But does this have potential, man? Does this have potential to be something really special? The contrast of their styles is, I just think it's going to be a lot of fun. I have not seen an athlete pick up the sport of professional wrestling like Bianca Belair does. The only way I can describe it in her kind of way is Charlotte. But it's not like Charlotte didn't have it in her blood. You know what I mean? Charlotte has that. She has Ric Flair as a dad. Bianca did not have wrestling at all on her radar. And really, what she's been wrestling for 3 years. I believe she was signed at the end of 2016. So 5 years of wrestling, 4.5 years, something like that she's been wrestling. You should not be this good. She's nearly flawless, Mags, and promo work, her whole character, her entrance, everything's down to a T. You should not be this established, this young in your career. It's just not a thing. Wrestling takes a long time, and I just don't think I've ever gravitated towards someone just going, how are you that good? It almost pisses me off. It's like, because it's like, how can you be that good at something that quickly? It's just so, I love her to bits. I love Banks. I'm a fan of both of these women. They're both phenomenal, but just their clash of styles, man, has potential to be the main event of WrestleMania, because it is. It's just their stars, and I'm just really excited for this match. I genuinely am. I'll give my prediction in a minute, but I'll let you just kind of pick up what I'm throwing out.
Yeah, well, we on a recent episode of Badlands, we covered we did like a special episode, me and Dan Griffin, where we covered the past, present, and future of women's wrestling, and Bianca was one of my picks. And actually, looking into how she got into wrestling, it's such a feel good story. She obviously is a big athlete and was heavily into athletics and bodybuilding, and she was actually contacted by Mark Henry. Mark Henry actually sought her out to say, look, you need to apply to the WWE, because there's a register that you could put your name down to be potentially picked up for the performance center. So he sought her out, got her out of her social media, and asked her to apply. She went and applied, and the rest is pretty much history. She's become one of the brightest sparks of not just wrestling, not just women's wrestling, of all of WWE wrestling. I absolutely love everything she does, and this match had to be a main event. I mean, I'm not as big on the Royal Rumble winner having to main event as you are. I understand it; it does make a lot of sense. But if any Royal Rumble winner had to main event a WrestleMania night, it's this one. The history behind the match, the cultural significance of the match, the fact that Sasha is the biggest breakout star in WWE, the biggest mainstream star that they've got in WWE. She's on Disney. She's on Star Wars, for God's sake. She's a huge, huge star. And to top it all off, these are two women who can bang in a wrestling match. These two can absolutely go. This is going to be amazing. The build I've not been so much taken with. I think sometimes you can over egg the pudding a little bit. This didn't need a lot of build. This needed to be, I'm the boss, well, I'm coming for your spot. That's all it needed. A very simple, clean story. And it got a little bit convoluted, but we're here now.
It was simple, Mags. It was a simple story of, you're the boss. Well, I'm coming for your spot. I'm you. I'm coming for your spot. Move along. It's my time. I'm the EST and all this shit. And it could have been literally just blah, 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 slap, slap, and we're off on the races. I understand it got a little bit messy because they did the whole coexisting thing, which apparently kind of two baby faces fight each other anymore. I like simple stories like that, especially at WrestleMania. So it is what it is. But the last 3 weeks of the build post Fastlane have been very nice. I've really liked it. It's built it in and I think it's done enough to save it. At least for me, I've gone, okay, they're off to the races and we're going very well. But Ditz, I had this comment up, but Ditz says Bianca has everything you need to be a star. The only thing I'd correct with that is that Bianca has everything you need to be a superstar. And I mean like superstar. Like she is just
breakout. She will do the things that Sasha is doing. She will be on TV shows. She's got that charisma. She's got that ability. Absolutely, she'll be. This is a stepping stone for Bianca.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Just their contrast of styles and everything. It's just going to the power, the speed, the athleticism, and regardless, I understand that like Bianca is still very new, and Sasha is going to be the one probably dictating a lot of the things that's going on in the ring. But we know Miss Banks is not afraid to put her body on the line to deliver a great match, and especially, let's call a spade here. Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda did have the first women's main event in WrestleMania history. You can't take that away from them. There's never been a one-on-one match, and I probably would. I've watched interviews with Sasha. That probably piss her off a little bit. She wasn't first, so if you can't be first, you can be best. That's how I see it, and I just feel like they are going to. Bianca's going to put the EST in WrestleMania. I know it's a pun, and I know she keeps saying that, but I do believe they're going to put on the best match possible that they can, and I think it has potential to be the match of the night. I'm not saying that it doesn't. It has a lot of competition, but this match can be big. This match can be huge, but the question lies, is it Bianca's night? Is this going to be the night that Bianca gets the championship, or is it going to be Banks retaining? Again, love both of these ladies to bits. I just genuinely love them, but I do think that it's Miss Belair's time. I would be leaning towards a Bianca Belair title win.
My issue is if Sasha loses, she's like 0-6 at WrestleMania. That's
never won at Mania. Yeah,
that's a terrible, terrible record. But she is also apparently off to film more Mandalorian soon, which means she's going to be taking some time away.
Yeah, I've seen that in the comments.
Yes, so it's got to be a Bianca win. Surely this it's been built for it. I mean, going back to before last year's WrestleMania, the "you don't go here" stuff. It's been built to this. It's been absolutely built to this. We are seeing Bianca Belair lift that title at the end of WrestleMania Night 1. Definitely.
It's oh man. Yeah, Sasha's never won at WrestleMania, and neither has the Raw Women's Champion either, which we'll talk about in a minute. But it's interesting. I do think it's Belair's. I do really do. I just think it's Belair's time, man. Nonetheless, it's going to be a very, very good match. We got a comment on YouTube here. I don't think we got a count out finish just because it's the main event. I think it's going to be a clean, decisive finish with whichever way we go. I do think it'll be a clean, decisive finish. And thank you for the follow. Who was it? Justin, I Don't Podcast. That would be Mr. Justin. Thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. All the love on Twitch, I really appreciate, whether it's a follow, whether it's a sub, whether it's bits, whether it's just being here in the chat. Thank you very much. I love Twitch. Everyone knows that. And it's a lot of fun. And all the people that are just kind of like, I have my regulars here. Mags, like, I'll have to give a shout out. Gypsy Girl, Steph, she is here every single time I stream in the evening time, because it's nighttime for me. She is here. So shout out to you. I appreciate it very, very much. So, but that's night 1 encapsulated. Let's get on to night 2. So we know that night 2 will be headlined, obviously, by the Universal Championship match, as it should be. That is going to be a fun match to break down. But let's start with something that if anyone wants to complain about WWE, they usually complain about long, drawn-out stories. They can't do it. Well, here's a one to say fuck you, because Randy Orton will be going one-on-one with The Fiend. Alexa Bliss will, of course, be accompanying The Fiend. I'm sure in some capacity will get involved. But it's been a long story. They've been feuding essentially since the end of October. So don't tell me that WWE don't know how to do long stories. They can. They just choose not to sometimes. But this story, we've seen a lot in this story. Now, I'm a fan. I'm a big fan. Wrestling is stupid. We believe in Irish whips. We believe in The Undertaker. Give me all the silly stuff you want. I can take the level of believability. It doesn't matter to me. There's been a lot of supernatural stuff going on in this. We've seen a man set on fire. We've seen fireballs thrown at people's faces. We've seen black ink come out of mouths of people. We've seen a lot of shit. We've seen a lot of shit in this last 7 months since this story has really been going. I think really the peak of the story was probably when Randy set The Fiend literally on fire, literally set a man on fire. He should be in jail. He shouldn't be wrestling at WrestleMania. This man should be in jail. It's a very, I think this story has been very nicely done. I think this story has been very nicely drawn out. This story has not been rushed. Usually with WWE, he would have been burnt and then back in 2 weeks. I'm surprised that The Fiend was not back, in between the time he was back. It was literally TLC to Fastlane before this dude was back. Before we get into this match, I do need to point out that this match has been essentially built by two people, and that's Randy Orton and Alexa Bliss. Now, 1 year ago, Alexa Bliss was getting ready to have a women's tag team championship match against Asuka and Kairi Sane along with Nikki Cross. 1 year later, Alexa Bliss is not the same person that she once was. And I know it's a bit of a character shift, you could say. But Alexa Bliss has been doing the work of her career. She has been, I think it's very important to note that Alexa Bliss has been a key player of this story and has been keeping this story kind of rolling. When Randy was burnt, when The Fiend was literally set on fire, Alexa's been the catalyst. She had a match. She owns a victory over a 14-time world champion in Randy Orton. Whether it's on paper, Alexa Bliss has defeated Randy Orton. I know there was a lot of stuff. She literally used the Force at one stage. I was like, oh, she's a Jedi now. She was pulling down shit. I was like, good for you, Alexa Bliss, all your supernatural powers. Before we get your thoughts on Alexa Bliss's role in this, look who's here. It's the one and only Love Wrestling. Spencer is here. He's talking about the fact that this story has been going on for a long time. We've got all these people in the chat. I'm so appreciative. And thank you for the follow, WrestleJake. Much appreciated. Sorry if I'm not getting there. My alerts obviously don't come up on StreamYards. It's the one little takeaway I don't like about using StreamYards. But hey, oh my God. What the hell? Love Wrestling's gifting subs to Project Dits. Oh my God. You're too nice. Thank you for the sub. And Dits, welcome in. Now you get giddy emotes. Feel free to use them in the Twitch chat. Okay, so Alexa Bliss, Mags, how are you feeling about Alexa Bliss's role and her, I guess, key factor to this story?
Yeah, I think you said it very, very succinctly. She's doing the work of her career, and ironically, she's doing the least amount of wrestling. It's all character work, and we've known Alexa as being able to portray these a really good character work. I mean, she's one of the best heels in the women's division, but when she's the face, she's one of the best faces. I mean, all the stuff with Nia Jax, she's so good at it. But I think this role was almost made for her. She's so good at it, so good at playing the catalyst to this feud. And Spencer's actually right. This feud does go back a lot longer than just this last year or so. Remember, these guys wrestled at WrestleMania 33 when they projected the maggots onto the ring, and then they had the House of Horrors match not long after that. So this has been one of it's almost like a Bray Wyatt signature, where he has these very elongated, years and years long feuds, and then we finally get the kind of culmination of them. I mean, the stuff with John Cena was absolutely outstanding. The way he kind of interwove their careers, and I dare say that we're going to get that with Randy and Bray down the line. What I did love about this is something you touched on, that they kept the Fiend out of the picture. This is a WWE who would happily ram that down your TV. The fact that they kept him off TV and then brought him back with a burnt mask, that is just mwah. That's just so well done.
Looks fucking phenomenal, by the way. Also, before I'm not meaning to cut you off here, but Love Wrestling gifting another sub in the chat to the one and only Miss Queen. Thank you so much, Spencer. Truly, you know how much that means to me. I don't want to go on about it because I'll probably cry because I'm like emotional when it comes to Twitch stuff. But thank you very much. You're the only person that's made me nearly cry on camera, Mags. You know what? Oh, that was the worst. I hate crying. But thank you very much. It's truly appreciated. But yes, Alexa Bliss has been, and again, you're right, Fiend being gone, and it's just been a very good story. It hasn't dipped. It hasn't kind of got to, like, they've kept it the perfect balance of weird, and they've kept it. Oh my God! Ditz is gifting a sub to the one and only Spencer. Now I have a hype train going in the chat. Oh my God, you guys are crazy. Thank you.
The love in this chat is brilliant.
A hype train is close. It's oh, you guys are, oh my God, now freaking JPQ's here on the YouTube side of things. Oh my God, everyone's here. I love my chat. Thank you very much. What the fuck were we talking about? Oh my God, now Ditz is giving bits. Thank you guys. It's truly, oh my God, you guys are crazy. What were we talking about? Please take over this show. Take over my Twitch stream. Oh my God, now I got more people.
I don't think I could handle the love. I could not handle the love.
Oh my God.
We need to do this monthly, Josh. It needs to be a regular thing.
People are subbing. I can't even keep up. I've got a hype train going. I got people choo. Thank you for the sub. Whoever just did that, it's not showing up on my Twitch thing. That's why I'm looking over here, everybody. But thank you, whoever that was. Bless your heart. I love you very much. Wrestling is happening in soon. Wrestlemania. Usually I'm playing games when the shit's going on. So I'm like, what's going on?
Kenny from the chat has said this better than we can about the point of this feud is for the Fiend to avenge his loss from WrestleMania 33. Absolutely correct. When he dropped that title after only just winning it, it's that's the whole point of this, and it's a brilliantly told story, and it proves WWE can tell long-term stories. They're not just a bunch of 1 month idiots. They can tell it when they need to.
Thank you very much for the sub. I put your comment on the screen so everyone can see you and give you you guys are crazy. I'm excited for this match. Genuinely, I am. I'm not expecting it to be a technical wrestling classic, but I'm expecting it to be fun. I'm expecting it to be very story driven, obviously, from everything, like you said, with the Avenge of the Loss. And is what I think I gravitate towards the most with this story is that there isn't really, holy shit, it's just cheered 1,000 bits. You guys are crazy.
I'm a draw.
You know what? I can make this much better. Let's just have me here. I made the show better, guys. Look at that. There we go. Anytime anyone wants to give some bits to just fuck Mags off, I'm happy to. I'll happily do it.
One bit
gets Mags off the screen. Oh, you're crazy. Thank you, Ditz. 1,000 bits. You're crazy. I'm just getting so confused because everyone's being nice to me. Oh, it's making me smile. Thanks, guys.
Drawn.
Oh my God, WrestleJake just subbed. Holy shit. Thank you so much for the sub, Jake. Oh my God, I've never had this much. I've got a hype train level 2 going. There's giddies in the fucking chat. What the fuck? What the hell's going on here? I'm quitting my job.
Right here.
I can quit my job now, guys. Oh my god! Now friggin' Spencer's throwing out pride flags and giving me 100 bits. Fuck yeah, the gays!
So
I love penis. Everyone knows that.
Spencer from Love Wrestling has just donated to have me took off the show, essentially.
Yeah, fuck off, Max.
I don't know how I feel about that now.
Woo! Pride, everyone. Everyone loves a nice gay man, right? Isn't that how it works on the internet these days? Oh, crazy bunch of people. Thank you, everyone, for the love. We're talking about Randy and the Fiend. And Queen's given 3 bits. Crazy people. Oh my god, I love you all so much. I'm going to get through this. We're going to get through this. We got to talk about night 2. We're going to get through this damn match.
We're going to get through this.
Oh, this is the most off the rail prediction stream ever. Ever. You guys are crazy. Randy and the Fiend. Okay. Randy and the Fiend. What we talked about Alexa Bliss. We talked about Randy Orton and Bray's past. Let me give you my prediction. Oh my god, now Jake's giving bits. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the bits. I think this was the point I was going to say before fucking people started. Oh my god, Davey Q's giving bits as well. I can't get through a sentence. Thank you so much, everybody. What I like about this, quick, I better say it, is that nobody is the defined face or heel in this. Mm-hmm. I like the fact that you can kind of just pick your side. You're like, Randy's right. I mean, Randy set a man on fire, but it's not like Bray Wyatt is a fucking champion for, being a great human being, because this man is literally running around in a mask. Well, I mean, he's probably doing the right thing in that sense, but I mean, he's creepy, and Alexa Bliss is throwing fire in people's faces. It's not like they're, grade A citizens. It's not like they're, champion for humanity. So, but I think the Fiend will win, but you know what? Just to be a piece of shit that I am, I think Randy Orton's going to win.
Okay, I think you're very wrong. I think this is built for the Fiend to come back and win.
Good to know.
No, the Fiend wins for me.
I'll go Randy. Just to be different. Here's one we're not going to spend a lot of time on. Riddle and Sheamus for the United States Championship. Couldn't give 2 shits. This is my Braun Shane of this night. Don't care.
Yeah, it's weird because on the indies and before he even started wrestling, I was a huge fan of Matt Riddle. Obviously, being with that MMA background, I knew of his UFC career, and then his transitioning to wrestling. I was all about it.
Everyone go follow Queen on Twitch. Go follow Queen on Twitch. Hey,
definitely go follow.
I've got to put
definitely
Queen
go
over.
Follow. Yeah, absolutely. Go and follow Queen on Twitch. Definitely.
Don't care about Riddle.
It's dumb. It's the character has just not evolved. It just doesn't work for WWE. Plus, he's a piece of a shit human being. I hope Sheamus wins. I think Sheamus has had the year of his career. With the stuff he made the Jeff Hardy stuff work. He definitely was a massive part of Drew's kind of a great run as champion. This will be a thank you for Sheamus for me, and I would rather Sheamus walk out of WrestleMania with that title.
Look at that comment, Spencer. What the fuck? Hey, Stretch. Thank you. Yeah. Don't care. I guess I'll go Sheamus as well.
Mm-hmm.
Is that all we want to say on that one?
Yeah, there's not a lot more to say. I mean, Sheamus deserves it. Riddle is a douchebag. So
great. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. They have Logan Paul there for some reason. I knew they'd get a reaction. I'll do my chair spin while you go and you do you. I've got a request to do a chair spin. You know what? The floor is yours.
This does not need Logan Paul at all.
No.
These two have wrestled each other all over the world. If you want a match that you know is going to be a banger. You have Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn, best friends, worst enemies, all that palaver. It doesn't need Logan Paul. And we talked about Bad Bunny being a celebrity who is invested in the wrestling world. Logan Paul couldn't give a shit about wrestling. He's only bothered about one thing, and that's Logan Paul and being a dick online. He's only involved in WrestleMania because his stupid match with Floyd Mayweather, no one's interested in it, and he's trying to just drum up some publicity for that. Go away, Logan Paul. Take your idiot brother with you. Stop being dicks. But anyway, this match will be a banger.
That was a great song. I fucking loved that song you were singing then. Logan Paul, Jake Paul, fucking whatever Paul. They're not great. They're Logan Paul. Like, we know what he did. I don't know if everyone knows who Logan Paul is. Simple little Google search. Will I help you there? I won't repeat it on stream. But you know what? It's just shit. He's just shit. Why are you there? But regardless of that, I mean, there's no way that Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens in a ring won't get me to pay attention.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the storyline that Sami's had about this conspiracy theory as well, that's been cool. It didn't need Logan Paul. I want to see his end product of his movie. But yeah, Kevin versus Sami is always going to be a banger of a match.
Yeah, I'm reading all these. We got Hogan Paul, we got Logan Paul events.
Logan Paul.
This chat is wild. It's just wild. This is my favorite comment. I'm blissfully unaware of Logan Paul. Congratulations, honestly. Yeah. You're doing something right.
You are living life correctly.
Let me stretch. Spencer wants a song recommendation. Everyone's redeeming my channel points. You know what? Mags, you're my guest of honor. Give a lovely song to Mr. Spencer. What should he go and listen to today?
Okay, so we covered this on Chain Wrestling recently, of cover versions of songs of people who've kind of taken a song and done their own version of it. And one that I'm really into, and it'll be one that appeals to Queen, because I think she actually passed it on to me. A rock star called Daniel Vasquez done a version of the Witcher theme, and it's just absolutely a banger. So search for Daniel Vasquez on your Spotify, toss a coin to your Witcher. It's brilliant.
All right, do that, Spencer. Do that. Mag said so. So go do it. I mean, I listen to Mags all the time. He always steers me in the right direction. So do that. There's a song recommendation, friend. Okay, going on to we didn't give our prediction. Owens?
It makes sense.
It's a toss-up. It's a toss-up, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just flip of the coin in this one. Can I just say, though, I think Sami Zayn, here we go. Reese is putting out nice. Here we go. I can't listen to a podcast without Mags turning up. It's a problem I have, too.
I'm a whore. I am a podcast whore.
If you know what, it's just, let's not get into that side of Mags. But Owens, yeah, I want to say something about Sami Zayn. I think this could be wrong. It's just a hunch, and I could be booking myself too far ahead with this. But I honestly think that Sami Zayn, with this conspiracy theory stuff, when he actually releases the actual documentary, if we ever get it, or if we just go into more of this, I think he's right. And I think it's going to be like a big revelation that Sami Zayn is not crazy. He's actually right. There's a conspiracy against him. And I think that's where this story leads. That's the only reason I say Owens winning. It's because it plays into that. But I could be looking into it way too much.
No, I mean, that makes sense. There has to be an end goal to this conspiracy theory angle. I would hate for it to just fizzle out and be forgotten about like a lot of WWE storylines do. I want some finality to it. So, yeah, that makes absolute sense.
Jake, thank you again. Another 100 bits. Crazy little shits you are. Love you all very much. Okay, let's move on here to Big E and Apollo Crews for the Intercontinental Championship in a Nigerian drum fight, which I looked at the rules for a Nigerian drum fight. I typed it in to my Google machine. Didn't really find out the rules for this one. I think if I was to take a hunch, it would be a falls count anywhere type deal. Maybe street fight.
Apollo has confirmed what the aim of the match is. He said that there's no rules, no limitations, just a beating so loud that it sounds like a drum. So it just seems like
a street fight.
Yeah, a no DQ falls count anywhere match. Yeah, basically.
I mean, I understand a lot of people have a problem with this because Apollo keeps getting shots at the Intercontinental Championship and keeps losing. But all of their matches have been fun. All of their matches have been good. I have no problem. And it's an actual story for the Intercontinental Championship. Isn't that what everyone wanted? Again, a story that's ran for quite some time. It's more than just, I want your title. Give me your title. That seems to be every Intercontinental Championship thing. There's been layers. There's been weeks where Big E wasn't there because he got stairs thrown at his eyeballs. And it's been, there's been different stuff. So I think it's going to be fun. And it's like a nice little gimmicky match for the second night of WrestleMania. I guess the question here is, what's going to happen? Is Big E going to retain? Is Apollo going to win the Intercontinental Championship? Leno's in the chat. Hello, Leno. Welcome in. Bits, Project Bits. What the fuck? I'm used to seeing all these bits and now I'm calling him Bits. Ditz has been a fan of these two. It's been a fun story so far. It really has been. I've had no complaints. I've had nothing but praise for this story. Both have done really good stuff. The only thing that I don't love about it, and it's not because of the turn or anything like that, I just hate that. Why do we have to hate Apollo just because he's embracing his Nigerian roots? Like, why is that a heel gimmick? I mean, we could have another show about how wrestling is kind of a little bit racist inherently, but that's a topic for another day. But that's the only thing that I'd have a little bit complain about. But other than that, it's a great face versus heel dynamic. It's the question. Does Apollo win here or does Big E retain? I'm going with an Apollo win just because of statistically. You can't lose that much, surely. But we know that Wale is going to be performing for one Mr. Big E live. So, does that ham into things? Because sometimes it does, whether you want to think it or not. 25 bits from Leno. Thank you very much, my friend. Much appreciated. Mags, I'm going with Apollo. What's your take?
Yeah, I actually love this Apollo heel turn. I thought anytime someone gets to really kind of play into their real life and how they are, but basically turned up to 11, I think it works really, really well. For me, he was kind of stuck with that typical smiley face, baby face gimmick, which I don't think it worked for him. I think this really does work for him because he's pulling from his own experiences. In terms of the result, it has to be an Apollo win. Like you said, you can't have so many opportunities without finally getting over that hump. If he doesn't win, it makes all this heel turn kind of null and void. It really kind of stunts him. So he's got to pick up the victory. And for me, Big E is above this level anyway. I think it's been cool having him tied over as a champion, but I want to see Big E broken away from the New Day and pushed to that main event picture, and dropping this title is one kind of step towards that for me.
Why that was happening, we had another gifted sub from Spencer to Steph, who's here every single day. If there's anyone that deserves a sub, it's Steph. So thank you. I've just hit 20 subscribers on my channel, so that's pretty neat. Thank you, everybody, very, very much for all the love. I think nonetheless, regardless of result, I think this match could be a lot of fun. I genuinely do. They're two young, hungry talent that just want to prove that they're in the mix. You know what I mean? They're in the mix, but I'm going with Apollo as well. Alrighty, let's talk about the Women's Tag Team Championships. Now, again, we picked Billy and Carmella going into night 2 in our night 1 predictions a little earlier, if you weren't here earlier in the show. Let's just go off of that Billy and Carmella are the challengers of the Women's Tag Team Championships. To me, the Tag Team Turmoil into night 2 is only set up for new champions, right?
Makes sense to me. Absolutely makes sense. I mean, the storyline with Nia and Shayna has been this kind of two people who are struggling to work together. Goodbye, Queen. Absolutely much love, and we'll speak very, very soon. But yeah, it's built for and building a new tag team stars, and Billy and Carmella will be absolutely perfect for that. I've enjoyed this run with Nia and Shayna, but
me too.
I think they work better as singles wrestlers, or at least a little bit of conflict between them. I think we see Billy become a champion.
Two-time women's tag team champion. Billie Kay, iconic, even though she really isn't iconic anymore. But I do think that Billie Kay is going to be women's tag team champion again. But in the case of even another team becoming victorious in the first night and going into the second night, I still think we're going to get new women's tag team champions out of this, regardless of who it is, whether it's Natty and Tamina or The Right. I don't know. I really don't see Nia and Shayna walking out of WrestleMania with the women's tag team championships. But do you think that Billy and Carmella could be a fun unit?
How can they not be? I mean, Billy could be fun in a room on her own. She's just so charismatic. And Carmella, as from someone who I didn't really vibe with when they were in NXT, I didn't really vibe with them when they came up to main roster. She has put in the work. I mean, that Court of Silence move is so good. They are going to be an amazing team together, and they're going to be women's tag team champions in my eyes. Oh, Baymax. Much love, Baymax.
We love Chris. He's a great dude. It's going to be a good night, I think. Oh, a good day for me on a night 2 of WrestleMania. The one regret I have with the Iconics winning the tag team championships is that your boy didn't film himself. You think your boy is going to be filming himself when Billie Kay becomes women's tag team champion again? I mean, Billie Kay, everyone knows, is my literal favorite thing in wrestling. There's no one bigger for me than Billie Kay. But if someone's going to eclipse it, it might just be the challenger for the Raw Women's Championship. We have Asuka defending the Raw Women's Championship against Adelaide's own Miss Rhea Ripley. Now, as an Adelaidean, we might be known as the place with the meth capital of the world, but we are very proud Adelaideans. So I want to say that it could be a very, very good night to be from Adelaide. But I don't think it's going to happen at WrestleMania. I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't see Rhea Ripley winning the championship. Steph, Gypsy Girl in the chat here on Twitch, she is from Adelaide. We are very proud. Proud is a word to use as Adelaideans, but we are Adelaideans nonetheless. We're from Adelaide. So I don't think it's going to happen at WrestleMania. That's why I'm trying not to get my hopes up too much, because I just think it's a little quick. Just a little quick. However, this match is going to be fucking physical. They're going to beat the shit out of one another because they're two women that they will beat the crap out of one another. We know that.
And especially if they get to work like they did in NXT. If these two are able to put on an NXT level match, this could steal night 2 easily. And I am to say I'm not from Adelaide. I think the Adelaidean is winning this. I think after last year's WrestleMania, where she essentially got she got done over by Charlotte Flair. I mean, I remember all the conversations we had back then, and people were saying that Charlotte Flair is going to do great things for the NXT title, and she didn't. She basically took it off Rhea Ripley, and Rhea's been held back a year because of that. I think that this is Rhea's kind of comeback. She gets back to being at the top, a place where she should have been last year. So she's been stunted for a year. she gets to be a Raw Women's Champion, and we get a very dominant performance here, and then perhaps we get the Charlotte versus Rhea feud coming out of it, and she gets to exact her revenge on Queen Charlotte.
Thank you again for another 100 bits from Spencer. You're a very nice person. I don't know. I just see Asuka winning because I see some other things happening with stuff after WrestleMania. Maybe with Ronda Rousey, maybe with Becky Lynch. I just think there's more of a story. Io Shirai, if she's ready to come over to the main roster, I don't know. But I do think that Asuka is going to retain. I don't know how much longer she's going to keep the championship after that, but I do think she does retain the championship. I just think I don't know. It doesn't hurt Rhea to lose here, I don't think. Both women have never won at WrestleMania. Asuka's never had a win at WrestleMania. Rhea Ripley obviously has never won at WrestleMania. She's only been in one. So they're both going in. Someone's going to come out with a W. Well, I mean, there is a chance that it could not be. It could be a draw, but it's not likely to happen at WrestleMania. So I don't know. I just feel that Rhea is not the person, because when you think about this, Mags, this is how I always taken this. We don't know what goes on behind. Oh my God, another gifted sub from Spencer to Justin. Thank you, Spencer. We don't know what happens behind the scenes on WWE, but we are under the impression that this is not plan A for WrestleMania. I don't think Rhea Ripley versus Asuka was plan A for WrestleMania. No. So that gets in my head somewhere. But okay. I'm going Asuka nonetheless. Nonetheless, I think it's going to be a fantastic match. Fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, it's very much a pick 'em. You can see kind of exit points for both. You can see like storylines for both coming out of it. And you're right, it wasn't the plan, but we've seen many a time when WWE are kind of like booking on the fly. They do like to throw swerves in there, and I think Rhea winning the title will be a huge swerve, it would look impressive on her. It would absolutely look impressive on her. So.
Okay, I can at least vibe with that. I can vibe with that. I'm just making sure we haven't missed anything before we go into the main event. Before we go into the main event, first and foremost, thank you to everybody who's gifted subs, who's subbing, who's giving bits, who's got me into a level 2 hype train or something. Whatever happened, that's only ever happened once before. So thank you very much to everybody that's been here. And I want your take on everything as well, especially for this main event, because we're going to be talking about the very opinionated triple threat main event. There's been a lot of opinions thrown around of whether this should be a main event, whether this should be a one-on-one match, whether Daniel Bryan should have never been even in the question of this being a triple threat. There's been a lot of stuff going on with this match. So we do have Roman Reigns defending the Universal Championship against the 2021 Men's Royal Rumble winner Edge and Daniel Bryan, who technically did make Roman Reigns tap out at Fastlane. We've seen, especially on today's SmackDown, yesterday for a lot of you, because it's Saturday. You know what I mean? 3 very great promos. Edge to me is the best talker in all of wrestling right now, and I will debate that to the end of me. Edge is a fantastic promo. Daniel Bryan, fantastic promo on SmackDown. Roman Reigns, fantastic promo. All very different from one another. I'm really into this story. I'm glad it's a triple threat. I think will get a better match out of it. I love Daniel Bryan. I don't understand how you could how the internet seems to be turning on the man that literally was absolutely fine with them until they got a slightly different story than what was originally expected. And all of a sudden, Daniel Bryan is quote unquote shit and shouldn't be in this spot. I don't understand how you could just turn on Daniel Bryan. He's fantastic. Edge. I mean, I love Edge and I love this side of Edge. We've seen kind of that piece of shit side of Edge that got him to why I love Edge so much, why he's one of the best to ever do it, is because he's this tweener role and Roman's the defined heel. And everyone's just kind of like doing this. They're just going in. It's great. I love that this is a triple threat. I think we're going to get a damn fine main event of night 2 out of this. It's hard to pick this one, Mags. It's really, really hard because in my head, I can go, okay, Roman has been on the run of his career since SummerSlam. I can see why he would retrain. Edge won the Edge comeback story. It's like, bam, here we go. Edge is the champion. And then there's the Daniel Bryan thing. As the one and only Mr. DJ says, if we get a WrestleMania 30 rehash with Bryan going over, I will literally poo. Same, brother, same. I will do a poo right on the floor. It'll happen. I'll be like, holy shit, Bryan's champion again. Also, it is kind of, I'm going to leave that on the screen because it's got the word poo on it, and that's funny. But it's kind of insane that we're getting 3 men in the main event of WrestleMania that at one point or another, for whatever reason, couldn't wrestle at some stage, and it was a possibility that they would never wrestle again at some stage. All for different reasons, but all in the terms of this may be the end. And I think that's pretty neat. Of an emotional standpoint, it's pretty neat.
And add to the fact that when they came back from their various reasons to be away from wrestling, they started doing the work of their career. Outstanding work. Daniel Bryan with the old Captain Planet stuff. Oh, superb. Edge, obviously, with the biggest pop at Rumble, kind of got stunted with the injury, but then came back and went Broadway to win the Royal Rumble. And the little kind of turns to the Ultimate Opportunities version of Edge, the Rated R superstar, who everybody loved and hated with equal measure. These I don't understand how the wrestling community can be mad at this. It just makes no sense whatsoever. It's kind of like how Gypsy Girl said in the comment, the internet wrestling community would turn on their own grandmother. I don't get it. You're getting 3 of the best wrestlers in the world today in the same match. What is it to complain about? What is there to complain about at all? It's going to be phenomenal.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. It's just so, sometimes the internet really does. I try not to get caught up too much in the internet and getting too convoluted in their opinions because it can just make you miserable. But it's just been something I just keep seeing, and I'm just like, I don't get it. I don't understand how you can be mad at this. Triple threats are always fun. And especially with triple threats with the caliber of these talent, they're just 3 very talented men. Now, I guess the $1 billion question for you, Mags, and for everybody in the chat, who walks away with the Universal Championship?
Okay, so our very good friend Chris Matthews in the chat has really hit the nail on the head by saying all 3 men have good reasons to win/retain. Absolutely do. Daniel Bryan he feels he's been overlooked. He feels he was screwed at Fastlane. And the whole yes movement, he's the ultimate underdog. He's lived that character for the best part of a decade, and seeing him win the title again will be absolutely phenomenal. Edge coming back from injury for being out for 10 years, coming back to the Rumble, getting injured again, coming back and winning the Rumble. How amazing would it be for him to round off the year holding the title above his shoulders as the champion? It'd be brilliant. But Roman Reigns, from being forced down our throats, if you listen to the internet wrestling community, from really struggling to like get the fans on board, to finally getting the heel turn that everybody was clamoring for, and doing the work of his career, the character of his career, the alignment with Paul Heyman. It's been stunning to watch. It's been so good. And can you just imagine the boos he would get if he comes out of this keeping the title and going on? It's such a pick 'em. I can make cases for every single one of them.
Oh man, it's it is. It's like you can make a case for every one of them. That's what makes it a compelling main event of WrestleMania. That's what makes it fun. I'm really excited for that reason and that reason alone. Hey, look who's here, Becky.
Hey,
Everyone loves
Bex.
Becky. She's a fun person to follow on Twitter, and someone that won't just have a little bit of a sook just to have a thunk, you know. I don't like people like that. Anyway, so hey Becky, welcome in. You're on the YouTube side of things. Yeah, it's a very interesting main event just for that reason alone, in just the fact of like, this person has this person, this person has this person. I can see reasons for it all. If I had to make a pick, which I'm going to do right now, I just think, you know what? No, I'm not going to say Roman. Edge.
Good shout. I mean, I could easily go along with you and Edge, and I wouldn't be unhappy if any of these won, to be fair.
Me too. Love them all.
There's something I want from this WrestleMania is I want to see Roman go on an Okada level run with that title. I want to see him beat absolutely everyone. I want him to this to be his legacy, that he was the one of the longest reigning champions in WWE history. And when someone finally does beat him, it means a hell of a lot. So I want Roman to win.
I mean, oh man, dude, it's just going to be really good. Genuinely, I can't remember the last time like a main event of WrestleMania in this capacity has got me this hooked. Mm-hmm. Like I'm genuinely looking forward to the end of night 2, because I'm like, that's the match I probably want to see the most.
Yeah, absolutely. And to see where we go and what gets involved. I mean, we've seen a couple in the chat saying that Lesnar getting involved. How good would that be? How good would it be to see Lesnar come in and start that feud with Roman over Paul Heyman, essentially?
Come on now.
Yeah, I mean, all those times we booed Lesnar and Roman out of the building, and then we want a feud. We want that feud now. We are so fickle. We are fickle as fans.
We're the most fickle pieces of shit there is. We're the worst. Wrestling fans suck. We all suck. All of you in the chat, you guys suck. We all suck. I suck. And it's just
I love how you left that hanging. Just left it hanging there.
Yeah, guys, I was referring to penises. That's what I was getting at then. But just so I didn't want to blow the joke. There's a fucking pun in that one.
Look at it. Levels of these puns. He keeps coming with it.
Ha ha. So funny, everyone. Oh, my voice cracked. Sorry, I'm going through puberty, everybody. It's a rough fucking time. But WrestleMania, it's 2 nights. It's hours away at this stage. It's just, hey, here we go. Look at that. My Tinder bio should just be I suck. ... Leave it up for interpretation. Could mean I just suck at life. Or,
predicting wrestling.
Could suck at predicting wrestling. Made the chat better again, everybody. We're at the end of this.
Rude.
It's been a lot of fun, Mags. Honestly, it's been a wild, unpredictable show. I've had more subs than I've ever had in one stream in my entire existence on Twitch. So thank you to the chat for that right there. Thank you, Mags, for coming on and hanging out for a couple of hours to talk WrestleMania. We're all excited for WrestleMania. We're all ready for WrestleMania. I hope everybody oh, no. DJ put the best one. Wrestling fans suck, but lucky for you, so do I.
Brilliant.
You know what? That actually might become my Tinder bio. I'll let you know if it works, DJ. I'm more, it's probably working better than it is for me right now, eh? We love a nice single man. Okay, so this stream has been fun. We have had a great time with this WrestleMania. If there's anything, I know that the world is a bit crazy at the moment still with everything going on. We have a couple of nights just to kind of chill out, watch some wrestling. It's WrestleMania. whether it's the worst WrestleMania ever or the best WrestleMania ever, it's WrestleMania. It's always a fun time. Enjoy WrestleMania, everybody. We're going to go and give a little raid ski to somebody because there's a lot of us here on Twitch. So we'll go give some love to Mr. Ibiza because he is a great man. Just go and give my love to Mike. He is one of my friends here on Twitch. So let's go give some love to Mike. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, DJ, for popping in as well. Steph, Queen was being here earlier. Ditz was here earlier. Spencer, thank you for all the love. Everyone that gave bits. I love you all very much. And yeah, go give my love to Mr. Mike. He is a great dude. So see you later, everybody.
Bye-bye.